I'm Ashleigh.
And I'm Brooke.
And you're here with us on A Teachers Who Talk Crime
Podcast.
Happy New Year, everyone!
2024, 2024, 2024.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm very happy to be done with 2023.
Same.
It was a 0. It was a 3 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Yeah. So I also had like a really rough year, and I don't know where James was living in this past year, but I guess because we got married, he thinks this year was like a 10 out of 10. And for him, that might be so, but like everything else that happened, I was like, James,
Yeah.
do you not remember all the other stuff that happened this year? Like my dad, your dad, Jay, just like all these things. And I was like, you don't remember all that? You don't remember?
I think just the wedding trumped everything for him.
Yeah.
Because he got his dream lady.
Yeah. Well, and that's great.
That's all he needed.
But I was like, I think he got offended when I was like, it was a tough year. And he was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I was like, it was like a really tough year. I cried a lot.
Yeah. Same.
I cried a lot.
Same.
So.
Yeah.
You know.
So New Year, kind of the same us.
Yeah.
You know, I started the new year, new me before the new year. So I started going to the gym about 3 weeks before the new year started, just to get ahead of everybody else, you know?
There you go.
The girl is becoming a gym girly in 2024.
I love that for you.
Pretty excited about it. My gym membership is kind of expensive, but I might be poor, but I'm going to have a body like a goddess. So it's fine.
I think that gym memberships, you should only have to pay if you don't go. See?
Well, how would they make money?
People wouldn't go. Well,
at least, and this time, you know, when everybody, because it's just going to automatically come out of your account, you know, just boom, boom, boom. But I do think, Orange Theory does that. Like you pay monthly, but like if you sign up for a class and you cancel in a certain amount of time, you have to pay a fee. I just feel like it should be based on income, and not just income, like income plus like, what's the word I'm looking for? Plus like necessary bills, like rent, trash, water, electric, student loans, like credit card debt. Like, hey, granted, I got credit card debt, but I got myself there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's my fault. That's not something that is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like they should factor in all that and the amount of kids you have, things of that nature, because the gym I go to is the gym that I go to because they have childcare in there, because I'm unable to go to the gym otherwise. So I pay a little extra for that, which is nice, you know, get 90 minutes in the gym. It's nice.
Well, 90 minutes is really all you need.
Yeah. I mean, I normally just do the classes for like an hour, but you know, going with Whitney, she had me in the gym for 77 minutes this evening.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. And then she had me in the big section. I like an hour. It's in and out, you know, do all the necessary things. And Whitney's like, well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to go back to the gym and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, girl, you're not done?
But it's almost, it can become too much for your body though. It's like there's a limit, I think. Like I know that when I go back to the gym on Tuesday, right? I know that my body is capable of max 3 days that week. Like I cannot go past 3 days. Like I will not walk. Also, like I will work up to that 4-day, but then I also take the weekends off. I think it's a very healthy balance. And like, you've got to maintain it, because people talk about people that have, you know, eating disorders and things like that, right? And those are normally pretty easy to like physically spot, right? But then you have situations where people have body dysmorphia and you can become gym obsessed, and it can be very unhealthy. So I think there's like a healthy balance that needs to.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a class I want to go to, because I'm not like a free gymmer. Like I've been free gymming with Whitney because Whitney is there. But once Whitney is no longer going to the Y, you will not catch Ashleigh on a squat rack. You will not catch her on those little machines. I'm going to be right on the treadmill. If anything, maybe the elliptical, maybe the Stairmaster, and then in that room for that class, and I'm going home because I'm not embarrassing myself because I will never go back.
Well, I think too, like I can't go to a regular gym. Like I say that, and I know it sounds like some people go, "Oh, she's a CrossFitter." I don't know what to do in a regular gym. Like I would not know what to do. I would be on the machine backwards where people's asses have been and put my face in it. Like I wouldn't know what I was doing. And also, not even that I don't know how to use the machines. I wouldn't know how to properly like, today is arm day. Today is like I don't know all that. I literally pay
Whitney's
somebody.
very good with that.
Yeah, she's great at all that. I literally pay somebody to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm. And I like that. But then at the Y, you got to pay for a trainer. And I'm like, I'm not paying my membership and then paying for a trainer.
No, but
like,
I was talking about like the classes. The classes is someone basically essentially telling you what to do.
Yeah. And like the classes that I do, like I range, like we did cycling this morning, which, ow.
Yeah, it hurts.
Then we back in the afternoon. Today was a 2-day. So we did cycling and then we did leg day in the, lower body once we went back to the gym in the evening. And then tomorrow morning we're doing body pump, which is like, all these weights with a bar. And it's like a synchronized class, but like every like track they play is a different body part. So like you have a back track, upper body track, a leg track, a butt track, a core track. So it's fun, but the first time I did it, I could not move for a week. Like my students were like, "Miss Brant, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm in pain. So I'm just going to teach from this seat so I don't have to keep getting up and going every time I get up."
Yeah. When I go back, like I know something's going to hurt, but it's going to be the most random thing. Like I took a lot of time off this holiday, just the whole holiday season, really struggled. And then when I went back the next day, like my armpits hurt, like literally my armpit hurt. And I was like, what is happening? Why does my armpit hurt?
It just reminded you.
Yeah. I'm really ready for a good sore. I mean, I'm not going back till Tuesday, but I am going to go back and I'm committed. Not necessarily with a goal in mind, just to like get back into it.
Yeah, and my thing is like when I was like younger, and I know I sound like Ashleigh, you're not like 50 years old. I feel it, but that's neither here nor there. But like when I was younger, I did the keto diet and I did the paleo diet, and I was very like, oh, okay. And I know that there has to be a balance between fitness and nutrition. I'm just not there where I want to like give up all the things that I like to eat. I just want to eat them in moderation. And I know that may stunt my growth or my hitting my goals, but like I have to be realistic.
Yeah. I'm not giving like people have such a negative view of carbs. Like carbs are actually good for you. They really actually are.
And even if there weren't, I'm gonna eat them.
I love food. I love food.
I love food.
Yeah. And I also like, I've done all the things too, but my biggest like standstill is I get really bored if I have to eat the same thing over and over and over and over. Oh, I get so bored. It doesn't make me want to look forward to a meal. And then like some people out there in the fitness world are like, well, food's not supposed to be something you look forward to. It's just supposed to nourish your body. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Leave. Immediately.
Because you've never had a full dining experience because food can change your whole life.
You ever seen Ratatouille?
See?
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to eat in moderation. Like now I stop eating at 8. You know what I mean? I'm like making these like things like, okay, like I can, like I'm not going to give up what I'm eating, but I'm going to stop eating at 8. I'm going to try and eat more vegetables, maybe do a protein shake for breakfast. Cause lately I've just been drinking loaded teas for breakfast, which is not the healthiest. It's fine.
Right.
Just little changes, maybe by the summer I will be at my goal weight. We'll see.
There you go.
We'll see. We can only hope.
Yep. My New Year's resolution is to genuinely be a better friend. That's my goal.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. just want to be a better friend. I said that the other day. That's my goal.
I think you're a great friend. So I don't know how
Thanks.
you can get any better.
I just think that like there are, I don't know. I just feel like I could do better, like checking in with people and like genuinely like asking them about their day and like, not that I don't do it disgenuinely, but like, I don't know.
But there's also a balance because I've realized, I feel like my New Year's resolution is to give more to myself because I'm like a giver. Like but like the past, I want to say, probably since September, I have like turned into a recluse. I don't really hit people up. And it's not because I don't love them and want to know genuinely. It's just like I don't have more of myself to give to them. So I don't want to open this can that I don't have the capacity to give you the attention you deserve, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out ways to balance that better and to not get so overwhelmed as I have been in the past couple of months. So that's really my goal.
See, I feel like those are very attainable. Whoa. Earthquake.
Oh, hey no.
Earthquake. Okay. Whoa. Let me just get back to where I was comfortable. Okay. I think those are very attainable goals for both of us. I feel like those are very doable.
And also just to boss up Teachers Talk Crime. I mean, I know y'all heard we're going on this cruise.
Yeah.
Are y'all going on a cruise? Y'all coming?
Should be. If y'all have questions, let us know.
Because
we've been doing so many collabs and oh my God, we have something coming for you guys. That's like
it is the crazy. Like I can't wait till we can share this with you because me and Brooke were literally freaking out. Like, is this real? How do we know if this is real? Are you sure? Are you? Did you get confirmation? Cool, awesome. Can't share it yet, but we will share it. And when we share it,
when
we share it,
it's crazy. It is wild. Like,
yeah. I really, truly feel like 2024 is the year of Teachers Talk Crime.
Yeah.
I think this is it. I think this is where we go from here
to
up there.
I really want to encourage you guys. We're going to like jump into everything. But I do want to encourage you guys. I was listening to Murder with My Husband and she was like, I know it's so lame that we have to ask this, but it really does a lot for us in our podcast. And so if you genuinely are someone who wants to support the podcast, the easiest thing that you can do to honestly just help promote our podcast is to follow us wherever you are streaming. So just click the little plus button. That will boost our podcast. If you have not already followed us on YouTube, please go subscribe and like our channel there. If you are not following us on Instagram, please go follow us on Instagram. All of these are under Teachers Talk Crime. Leaving us reviews, giving us 5 stars. All of these things cost $0 and cost maybe 3 minutes of your time. And those go such a long way. So I know it seems like podcasts are always bringing this up, but if you could please do that in 2024, it would really help us out. If you want to take it an extra step and want to share some of our posts on your Instagram to show your friends who you're listening to, that also helps as well.
Yeah. Because we just want the world to know about Teachers Talk Crime. We're just trying to get it out there. Speaking of the world, which is really strange, not strange, but we get emails from this one website and it gives us like our rankings. And the other day it said we were number 166 on the podcast charts in South Africa.
What?
I know. Like,
that's so cool.
Thank y'all in South Africa. Like, appreciate y'all. I didn't even know that y'all got down with Teachers Talk Crime like that, but we're not mad at it. So appreciate all y'all over there in South Africa listening to us. Cause what?
Yes.
Cause when I saw 160, it was 160 something. I was like, that's like
a really good number.
That's a really good number. That's a really good number. So I was proud of us for that. Yeah.
Look at us.
Well, you know. I know.
Fly out to South Africa. We'll do a meet and greet.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I would not mind. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our first 2024 Star Student.
Estudiante Estrella. I haven't said that in a very long time.
I know.
Like, we really took this break off.
We really did. But also, we really hope that you guys have enjoyed all the collabs that we've done. Like, they've been so much fun and have allowed us to, like, meet some of the coolest people.
Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah.
So our first 2024 Estudiante Estrella is on the block 67.
On my block.
On the block.
Right, but on my block. Shout out to that show because that was a good show.
If you didn't watch it, go to Netflix, watch it. It's pretty good.
Yep, it is.
And on the block 67's review is star review with clearly 5 stars.
Pew, 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 pew.
Okay, very good, very good. And on the block 67 stated, okay, not sure if I followed the instructions on what to put in the subject line, so I apologize in advance. I absolutely love your show. You guys are both so fun to listen to. And Ashleigh, you do say 100%, but in my opinion, it's not enough. So keep it up. We know how moms be. I'm your new favorite fan.
Aw, I've seen a ton of comments that are like, Ashleigh, it's okay. You can say 100%. Ashleigh, it's okay. You can say 100%.
My mom pointed it out to me, and I've listened like in the past. I say like a lot as well. And I know some other really big podcasters have gotten comments like, oh, they say like every other word. And I try to be conscious, but this is honestly how I speak. Can't really change that. You guys want an authentic version of Brantisha, the school teacher, and you are getting her. So I just try to be conscious not to annoy y'all so much, you know, so just don't want to be breaking.
I think 100% is fine.
I like 100%. It's like my new thing because I do it in my classroom too.
And if you're watching on YouTube, yes, I'm still wearing my Christmas pajamas.
I mean, I thought they were cherries until you said that. So,
yeah.
What are they, mistletoes?
Yeah.
Oh, cute. I thought they were cherries.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm still not out
on
of
the block
spirit.
67. I mean, you know.
It's okay.
Hey. I mean, I wish my Christmas tree was down. It's not down. I would have taken it down the day after Christmas. But I didn't get around to it. So I will take it down shortly because I'm done with it. We're done here. But on the block 67, I thank you so much for your review. This gold star's for you. Bing.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's jump into our first case of 2024. Sit down, shut up. The murder is about to begin.
Ahora.
Trigger warnings for this case are talks of gun violence, talks of death of teenagers, and mentions of drug selling and drug involvement and drug using.
Okay. Drugs.
Yes. Prom night is a night teenagers dream about from an early age. It is magical, carefree, exciting, and you feel untouchable. However, that was not the case for 4 teens back in 2005. Prom night became their last night, and to this day, this case is talked about amongst the community. What was your prom night like?
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
My prom night was fun. Give you a quick synopsis. My boyfriend at the time had a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yes, had a kid. My parents did not know he had a kid. So when he came to my house, he brought said kid. And my parents did not know that that was his kid. And so the baby is running around and his grandmother was there, I believe. And my dad was like, oh, why don't you put the baby down, you know, so she could run around. And the grandma was like, well, I don't want her to get her daddy's suit messed up. And that is how my parents found out that he had a kid. Found out the night of prom that he was still talking either to his ex-girlfriend or baby mom. It was so way back when. And he basically was hitting on my friend's prom night. So it was an enjoyable experience. If anyone wants to do a redo prom for your girl, I think I deserve it in 2024. So just let me know if you want to set that up, because mine was not that enjoyable. What about you? Because I'm sure it was better than mine.
So I went junior year and senior year. So my junior year, another girl's boyfriend who I was seeing asked me to prom over her. And so I thought that I won. I was like, oh, yes, I won. And
I'm the best.
Yeah. And so we are headed to prom, and he's like, well, I got to make a pit stop. And like, we're with some other guys and some other girls. And they get back in the truck, and I'm like, what is that smell? And one of the girls was like, do you seriously not know what they went inside to do? And I was like, no. She was like, they went to smoke weed. And I was like, oh my God.
Weed.
Oh my God.
Marijuana.
What? So my date was high the whole night. And
dang.
Yeah, he was high. And then he dropped me off. I don't know where we went after prom. I think we went to like a party or something. Then he dropped me off, and he actually went to his girlfriend's house after that. And she like wrote me a note when we got back to school and was like, haha, he came to my house after prom, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he took me to prom. Like, what?
Like, you didn't, how you gonna hit him outside the club? You can't even get in.
I was not very nice to her. She was not very nice to me either, but rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Then my senior year, I wore the most bomb dress in the entire world, like obsessed with this dress. Okay. And I went with my boyfriend at the time, and it was his. So we went to two separate schools. It was my senior prom and it was his junior prom, but they were both on the same night. Well, because it was my senior prom, he came to my prom. Well, his mother was not happy about that, and she broke into our prom and found us on the dance floor and berated me in public and told me how awful it was that I made him miss his junior prom. Yeah.
Girl, his prom is next year.
Yeah.
Calm down, baby.
Uh-huh.
Because my junior prom wasn't even like, I went to junior prom, but that's not the thing we look forward to.
Yeah. So that was mine.
Wow. So it seems like we both had, pretty questionable prom experiences.
Yeah. So we need a redo.
Maybe in 2024, we should host the Teachers Talk Crime Prom.
We should.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And maybe we could do a live show there. We're going to think about it. We're going to plan it. But if you guys would like that, let us know in the comments.
Well, this is a case about prom night. And on the morning of May 22nd, 2005, prom night had come and gone for Huntington high schoolers in West Virginia. But it wasn't a night all wanted to remember. That morning, early in the wee hours, 4 teens would be found murdered near 1410 Charleston Avenue in Huntington, West Virginia. They were Dante Ward, Eddrick Clark, Michael Dillon, and Megan Poston. A neighbor said, quote, "You send your kids to prom and you just hope they don't drink and drive. You never expect they're going to get murdered in cold blood." Wow. Police instantly brought in people for questioning, trying to get a better understanding of the victims and their last moments. What they learned was that the murders took place early Sunday morning in the front yard of the apartment house where Dante Ward, 19 years old, lived. Police came to know that Megan Poston, 16 years old, and Michael Dillon, 17 years old, had attended Huntington High School's prom that Saturday night, with Megan being Michael's guest. Michael was a junior at Huntington High School, while Megan attended another nearby high school. The two other boys, Dante and Eddrick Clark, 18 years old, did not attend the local prom that night, according to police findings. Mm-hmm. However, Michael
So before you start, they just found them in the front yard?
Yes, all 4 of them.
Just laid out in the front yard of this apartment complex?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
However, Michael and Megan weren't even supposed to be at Dante's that night, which led to a lot of theories and speculations that we will address shortly. But the young couple were supposed to be at a lock-in at the school after the dance. So I've never heard of this. I don't know how people do prom night, right? I've always gone to prom. We leave early, we go to a house party, and then we go have our breakfast, which is always hosted at like a family's home of a classmate. And you can attend or you cannot attend. But basically, a family comes together, all the parents come together and you have breakfast at like 3 a.m. and they like cater it and you go and that's like where you wind down your night. And that's what we did. Thanks. This high school had prom, and then once prom was over, you all signed back in to have a lock-in, which meant all the kids were locked into the gym and they would stay the night and they would hang out, and you got released at 5 a.m. of the next day.
That just doesn't seem like a good idea for me.
I just feel like I know what high schoolers are doing.
Right. And I know you're locked in the gym.
With chaperones.
Like, yeah. I know some of y'all are getting it in that gym.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
And you know, it's prom night. Everybody's on this like, oh my God, it's prom. We're almost done. Yeah. Let's do it up big. And
yeah.
Exactly. I also never understood why people did lock-ins. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, I would love to like spend the night. No. Yeah. Today, Ashleigh, absolutely not. Do not sign me up to be a chaperone.
Like, our cheer squad, like our cheer gym did a lot of lock-ins. But it was like just girls. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. That one I kind of get, but yeah.
Yeah. But when you're intermixing.
My church did a lock-in with a little intermixing. And I know my friend, I mean, she's like now married to this man, but like I know what they were doing.
In the Lord's home?
On the bean bags.
Not on the bean bags.
The bean bags. Wow. Yep. So I know what happens at these lock-ins.
Mm-hmm. They get locked in. You feel me?
Yep, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So the young couple were not supposed to be at Dante's according to their parents and friends. They were supposed to be at this lock-in at the school after the dance. But when they had checked the roster, they noticed that the couple had not checked in or been on the registration sheet.
Gotcha.
Now, Gary Dillon, Michael's father, called police Sunday morning after his son didn't come home when the lock-in ended around 5 a.m. Gary had no idea why his son and Megan had been at Dante's home that night instead of the lock-in, but he just wants police to get the person or people responsible for killing his son and his son's date.
So he called the police? To report his son missing?
Right.
And then located him?
No. He called he called the police. His son has been missing, and they informed him that bodies had been found.
Got you.
They just had not identified, because they were found very early in the morning, near the 5 o'clock time frame as well. So it was okay. Oh, here's 4 bodies. Oh, here's a dad calling in about their son, kind of thing.
Let's
intertwine all of these. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one source that I did find that kind of shined some light on a speculation, a theory, if you will, as to why the couple were at Dante's that night. The couple had allegedly, according to this source, left prom that night and called Dante to buy some weed from him before returning to the lock-in or to just hang out with one another. Now, the police believe that this quadruple homicide is linked to the Detroit Huntington drug trade, with Dante being the sole intended target. So they do believe that Dante would have unfortunately and tragically died that night, regardless of who else had been around, that he was the intended target. They also made this speculation as to why the couple were there. We know why Eddrick was there, and I'll get into that. But they couldn't figure out why this couple had been there at these god-awful hours of the night. And there was allegedly a speculation that the couple had gone to buy weed from Dante, which they're teenagers. They did not deserve this, and it unfortunately was wrong place, wrong time. If that is why they were there, they were not doing anything wrong. If they were buying weed, they were buying weed.
Yeah.
When asking,
worse.
Yeah. Oh, way worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
When asking potential witnesses what they saw that night or what they knew, they found Christy Thomas, a neighbor of Dante Ward's. She told police her and her 12-year-old daughter woke up Sunday morning to the sound of gunshots and screaming. When the 12-year-old daughter looked outside the window, they said that she saw 2 bodies and even told police they heard a female voice say, quote, "Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me."
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
This story about what the neighbors saw and heard was confirmed then by another neighbor separate from the mom and daughter. When he told police he heard the female victim pleading for her life. The neighbor gave the following statement, quote, "There was a burst of gunfire and then there was a small pause. And that's when I heard the girl say, 'Please don't kill me. I'm sorry.' And I heard 2 more gunshots." Christy Thomas also went on to inform police that Dante Ward had only moved into this apartment complex 2 months prior to the shooting. And although she didn't really know him personally, she said that he was always super social and very friendly to her and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That he had made like no waves in the apartment building.
Yeah.
Dante Ward was a 2003 Huntington High School graduate, making him a few years older than the others, while Eddrick Clark attended school in South Point, Ohio, which were only separated by like a river, to my understanding, which is across the river from Huntington. The principal at South Point High School said that Eddrick Clark was a wonderful kid and had this tragedy not happen, he would have been graduating that next Sunday in front of his friends and family. Yeah.
It's a shame.
Now, Eddrick Clark and Dante were actually together that night because they were celebrating their birthdays. Dante's birthday, if I am not mistaken, was the day before the shooting, and Eddrick's birthday is the day after the shooting. So they were like right there together, and they were out celebrating their birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Over 1,000 people gathered together to honor the 4 teens who should still be with us today at a candlelight vigil, which was held at the crime scene. By May 25th, 2005, 3 days later, the police had not found enough evidence to support an arrest. But the police captain, Steve Hall, did say that they took in about 9 potential suspects. 5 were from the Detroit area, and out of these 9, 2 were released quickly, with police ruling them out as suspects. Steve Hall said the following that fateful day, quote, "We may have the shooter in custody. They are being interviewed. They're being interrogated. I am not saying we do or we don't. We just don't know." And they didn't know. They did not know that this 18-year-old case would still remain unsolved today. Bringing no justice. They still do not know. Bringing no justice. I know. No justice to the family or the victims. At the time, Hall believed that the murderers had most likely returned to the Detroit area where they were now hiding out. And he had no jurisdiction there, so there was not much he could do.
Mm-hmm.
Theories surrounding this case became all people could talk about, and that's to be expected when a tragedy like this takes place, especially amongst teenagers. Police came to believe that Dante Ward may have been the only intended target that night, as we have mentioned, when the shooting occurred. They suspect that the other 3 were killed just because they happened to be there and could potentially identify the shooters to police. One arrest was made, but no conviction has ever came about. However, 2 detectives arrest a Shirletha Bunny Holmes on unrelated drug and weapon charges, but begin tying her to the murders. So they arrest Shirletha Bunny Holmes, and they know she has like these connections to this weave of the Detroit Huntington drug scene. And so they actually arrested her on other drug and weapon charges. But then they're like asking her about these murders. And police claim that they had informants that were telling them that Bunny Holmes ordered the hit on Dante Ward after he allegedly stole money and or weed from her operation. Now, this has never been confirmed, and Bunny Holmes' lawyers have continuously fought to keep her name clear. She did, however, give police names of people she believes might have killed the 4 teenagers that night. But it became really suspicious when Bunny Holmes was arrested May 19th, 2006, 1 year later, in connection to a shooting death of a woman named Wendy Morgan. Allegedly, Actually, not allegedly, because Bunny was convicted. Allegedly, Bunny ordered a hit out on Wendy when she found out Wendy was stealing drugs and money from her crack house, which now raises the question on Bunny Holmes' innocence in the prom night killings.
Absolutely. 100%.
So you literally are charged and convicted on a shooting because someone robbed your crack house. But it just so happened that all these informants came in and were saying that Dante stole some money from you and maybe stole some weed from you, and now he's dead. But you're saying you didn't have anything to do with that?
Yeah, I think we need to look a little bit more into Bunny here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, I was like picturing Bunny as this like little like mob boss, like small little dainty thing. She a little scary. She a little scary.
She a little scary?
She a little scary. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, who is the character on the Orange is the New Black?
Crazy Eyes.
Yes.
Is it Crazy Eyes?
Yes. Crazy Eyes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's the first one mine, but I know it's go to because she.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She looked like Crazy Eyes.
Yeah. Now, the question still remains, why were Megan and Michael at Dante's home that night? And depending on who you ask, you will get two different answers. One theory we have already discussed, that potentially maybe they could have been buying weed off of Dante, and that's why they were there. And it was wrong place, wrong time. Same for Eddrick Clark, right? Wrong place, wrong time. Unfortunately, according to the investigation, something was going to happen to Dante, whether he was killed or very much injured. Something that night was intended to happen to Dante. Now, the other three, again, were really bad timing.
Now, did they find anything in Dante's home to confirm that he was A, selling drugs,
No.
B, had any drugs? So I'm just confused where this rumor is coming up, coming from. If there's no evidence that showed that he was in possession of drugs, that he had the intent to sell these drugs, or what that is going on with. Because to have a theory like this and not have anything concrete to place him with it is kind of like, you're reaching. You know what I mean?
Well, the only thing that they had on Dante was that he was known in the high school scene as a weed dealer. But that was about it. Like, according to sources, he didn't deal anything other than weed to high schoolers. You know what I mean? And to me, I guess now this is 2005. So granted, this is a totally different time frame, but like now, weed. Okay. Woo, wow. Whoop-de-doo. Now I don't think like it would just be as stereotyped as much. But like if he was dealing like crack cocaine, that's a totally different story, right?
Yeah.
But so multiple people that knew Dante, because Morgan and Michael knew Dante. Michael went to school with Dante. And multiple like classmates said that Dante was your like local weed dealer.
Got you.
But that's about
so they're
all
just
they
going
have.
by what he was doing in high school, not what his current, things are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, people still wanted to know, how did Michael and Morgan get there? Now, according to sources, Michael and Morgan left the prom around 10:30 p.m. that night. That's a big gap between 10:30 and the shooting at like 3, 4 in the morning. So like, where'd they go? And their whereabouts are actually really unknown for the next few hours. So like from 10:30 to when they arrive at Dante's, like nobody knows where they went. Now, here's my thinking. This is all alleged. This is my thinking as someone who was in high school and, was really into my date or whatever. But if I left at 10:30, me and my date going to spend alone time, right? I'm just saying like, so we can only imagine what two cute little high schoolers on prom night are doing for a few hours. Hanging out, talking, kissing, laughing, just spending time together.
Touching.
Yeah, they're having a great night. It's their prom night. Yeah. They don't have to be home till 5 a.m. and they know this. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
However, exactly. So from 10:30 to when they show up at Dante's, we do not know their whereabouts. However, what we do know is they were shot in the front yard of Dante's home at 4:30 a.m. that morning. That is 30 minutes before Morgan's mom is coming to pick them up at the lock-in.
Yes.
Okay. So from 10:30, let's just say they get to Dante's house at 4. We're just going to speculate. They get to from 10:30 to 4, we don't know where they were. At 4:30, the shooting takes place. At 5 o'clock, Morgan's mom is supposed to be picking them up at the lock-in. At 5 o'clock, we also know that Michael's dad calls and says they're missing.
Yes.
Now, sources claim that the couple did in fact know both Dante and Eddrick and went to buy weed from them. We know this. Sadly, it quickly became the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, that's not confirmed. And when listening to an interview by Morgan's mom, she has a completely different theory. Now, Morgan's mother and late father believe that the couple did in fact leave prom at 10:30 p.m. because multiple witnesses said that they saw them leave at 10:30 p.m. And the mom is like, hey, and we really don't know where they went after that. Who knows where they went? But then the couple, apparently, according to Morgan's mom, realized that they were to be picked up from the lock-in soon. And they knew that Morgan's mom was coming to get them at 5, and they saw the clock, or they saw a clock, and were like, oh, crap, like, it's time to get back to the gym because we don't want to get caught that we were sneaking out of prom.
But even then, they didn't even register. They weren't on the list. So I feel like maybe they didn't even plan to intend to go there until they showed back up at the school in the morning to make it appear.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. They were going to sneak around the corner and be like, oh, it was so much fun. Yeah. That's what Morgan's mom's saying. Is like they snuck out of prom went to hang out. And she admits all this. She's like, yeah, like they snuck out to be teenagers, blah, 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 blah. And when they realized what time it was, they wanted to go and sneak back into the gym or sneak to the gym where they knew I would be picking them up. And she said that when the couple realized this, that the time was kind of ticking down, they soon began calling anyone and everyone that they knew to come give them a ride back to the school. And her mom says that, like, you can confirm that with phone records. Like, they called several friends to come pick them up. They called house phones. Like, there were parents of Michael and Morgan's friends that had answered and even told Morgan's mom, like, yeah, she called here very late in the morning. Like, I was not going to let my daughter out to go pick up your daughter. I'm sorry. So there were several phone calls made asking people to come give them rides back to the gym.
And this is around what time?
This is around 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. When no one would come take them back to the gym, they really weren't sure what to do. They were at a local donut shop, which was located across the street from Dante's, when they noticed Dante and Eddrick standing in the front yard. Knowing these two boys, they walked over and asked for a ride and a place to change back into their prom clothes. So Morgan had put on a pair of Michael's like sweatpants, and obviously, like, I don't want to get caught by my mom. I need to change back into my prom dress. Can I go do that in your apartment? And like, I can imagine these are teenagers. So if this is the truth of the matter, and they walk over and they're like, what's up, Dante? What's up, Eddrick? And then, Morgan's like, hey, Dante, can I use your bathroom in your apartment? I imagine the 4 kids are like sitting there talking. Happy birthday, man. I saw it's your birthday. What are y'all doing out? Just like how was prom, shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
Okay. Dante and Eddrick were celebrating their birthdays. And according to Morgan's mom, the teens started chatting in the front yard, just like exactly what we were saying. And that is when and how they believe their daughter and her date were caught up in the shooting gone horribly wrong. Now, both theories are widely talked about, and both theories could very much be true. We don't know which one is accurate. And I do not want to take away from Morgan's mom and her late father. I do think that this could have happened. And if that is what brings her peace at night, to think this is why my daughter was there, then that is totally fine. That you are 100% entitled to that. if the other theory is also correct, which again, Ashleigh made a great point. What evidence did they have that Dante even was still dealing weed or selling weed? We don't know, right? So we don't ultimately know why they were there. We know that Dante was there because he lived there and Eddrick was there because he was celebrating his birthday. And we may never know the truth, but what we do know is that no teenager on their birthday or their prom night, or any night really, should be shot down in cold blood. These teenagers did not deserve this, and their families didn't deserve this. The community didn't deserve this, and I hope that one day justice is finally served for these 4 victims.
Yeah.
1 year later, Captain Hall refused to accept this as a cold case, and he said that he personally takes responsibility that no arrests have been made. And he promises that his department is being very careful not to make false arrests and to be sure they get it right once they do. Yes. However, it has now been 18 years and no arrests have still been made. But to shine light on a positive story in this situation, back in 2007, the All Saints Anglican Church and teens began working at the crime scene. They had hopes of turning it into a hope house where teens can come and find hope, education, and mentorship. You are encouraged to call the Huntington Police Department if you have any information regarding this case and who may have killed these 4 teenagers, because the family ultimately needs closure.
Yeah.
And that is the unsolved murders of the Huntington Prom night case.
I mean, I feel like the theory that the mother gave is very, I mean, she has the evidence that they called friends, called people's house looking for a ride. Then you were at this. How do they know they were across the street at a donut shop? How do we know that?
The mom just said they were. That's all that we have proof of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're across the street, you see these men and you are on your last hope, like, I need to get back to this high school or my mom is literally gonna
ground me
go
for
off
life
on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that over the, they were going to get drugs is more believable. You know what I mean? Because like I said, there's no concrete evidence that he was still selling or had drugs in his possession. But she has concrete evidence that around the time of the murder that her daughter was calling around, hey, can I get a ride? Hey, can I get a ride? Hey, can I get a ride? Like, we have that. We don't have that he's still selling drugs.
Right.
So I'm going by what is concrete, and the phone records are concrete. So I'm going to go with that one.
I like that theory as well. I mean, I have no issue if they were buying weed or not. But obviously, like you said, the evidence points to the fact that they wanted a ride. And they knew Dante. They went to school with him. You know, it's not like he was a stranger. This kid just graduated high school. Y'all are, juniors and seniors. Y'all know everybody at your high school. Hey, like, there's Dante. Like, he's over there. I wonder if he'll give us a ride. We're on a last hope. What is he doing? He's out in the front yard having a beer. I'm just imagining this. If it's my birthday, I'm with my best bud. It's his birthday. I imagine we are having a few drinks. Granted, it's also 4 a.m. Clearly, we're having a few drinks. We're hanging out. We're shooting the breeze. And then people we know from school walk over, and now we're all talking because that's what teenagers do. And she's wearing sweatpants and she's asking to go, change. So I too believe Morgan's mom's theory, based off the phone calls, and multiple parents came forward and said, like, Morgan called the house at like 3:30, 3:20, and all like the time frames matched up. And, her mom was like, she didn't want to get in trouble. Like, she knew how I would react if I pulled up to that gym and she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So.
I'm kind of also still stuck on the, please don't shoot me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, the I'm sorry is just like, I mean, I've never been in a situation like that. So maybe you're just sorry in general. But I just, I'm overanalyzing it. I'm like, well, what did she have to be sorry for? You know what I mean?
Also,
like,
hearing that through walls of an apartment, So could it have been, I'm sorry, Mom? Could it have been, I won't tell, and maybe they thought they heard?
Yeah.
You never really know. Like, obviously that's their account. I'm not taking away from their account.
Yeah.
These accounts can be very. So,
because the please don't shoot me was consistent, like in both.
Yeah. And it was both the female voice and there was only one female present. Also, it's worth noting like how they knew that Dante was the intended target. All of the other 3 victims had been shot one time. And it was like, it killed them instantly. Dante had been shot multiple times.
Yeah.
So like all the ones that clearly whoever did this, I can only imagine got in the car and was like, you did not tell me there were going to be 3 other people there, blah, 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 like freaking out. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I was not
and
there,
now
but
it's 18 years later?
Yeah.
You said? And now it's 18 years later and they're like, wow, I really essentially have gotten away with this. But I just want to know if he wasn't still selling drugs, what was I want to know why.
Right.
There's no evidence, like I said, there's no evidence that he's selling drugs, but they think he's in connection and that he stole
from Bunny. Who's also been convicted for calling a hit on someone else who stole.
I feel like there would have been some type of evidence. Like maybe 100%. Could he have been keeping all his things in another location?
Sure.
100%. But like, I feel like your apartment wouldn't be clean. There would be something there to be like, there it is.
Right. I also feel like if you looked out the window, right? Okay, so there's 4 people. There are 4 people that got shot. That's not done in like 1 second. So I'm just wondering, like, did these eyewitnesses, do they remember seeing a car? What color car? Did you hear screeching? Did you hear somebody drive off? Did you see somebody run from the scene? Like, is there something you're not remembering, I guess? Because if it was multiple people, I feel like that would take even more time because you have to gather everybody back up, right? If it was one person, where'd they go? Like, what else did the neighbors see or hear? And also, donut shop. What did they see? Because if these kids were at a donut shop across the street and it was open, weren't there employees there?
Yeah, and there's no footage in the area.
Right.
You know? I don't know.
So I had a lot of questions about this case, and I get it. Like, obviously, whoever did it walked up, bang, 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 shot them, and then walked away. That doesn't leave a ton of evidence because you're not touching the victims. You're not touching doorknobs. They were just in the front yard. But, what about the gun casings? What about the shells? What about the witnesses?
That, and I wonder because you said Bunny got convicted of gun charges. So did her gun have anything to do with the gun at the scene? Like,
correct.
How are you the only connection you really have between the two is that, you made the assumption that he had stolen from her and she called a hit on him. And then it just so happened a year later, she actually did this to someone else. Or was it a year later that you were like, you know what I mean? Like, where was the timeline? Did they think that was the case? They thought that was the case prior to her getting convicted.
So the murder of Wendy actually happened before the murder of Dante. She just got convicted of it a year after Dante's murder.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just, where'd you get the connection from the two? You know what I mean? Like, how are Dante and
They were
Bunny?
saying that there were 3 to 4 informants that kept saying it was Bunny. And I mean, I get it. People will say a lot of things to reduce sentences or reduce charges and be like, jail has snitches. I get that. Like, I know it happens all the time. But for you to get, usually there's only one snitch that comes forward and is like, I want to make a deal. You got 3 to 4 people that came forward and they all gave Bunny's name with the exact same story. That's a little weird to me.
But that's also the case. I can't remember. Oh, what is it? I can't think of it. Oh my gosh. And everybody kept saying it was that one guy and then the boot and then what case was it?
The boot.
You covered it. There was something with a boot and he had a boot print and he was the only one who wore the boots. and he was in like some type of cartel or something. What?
Oh, I
swear,
don't
we
remember it.
record so often. You covered it. I can't remember what it was.
And they were all saying the same thing?
Or was it the case that we did with Allison? Yes, it was the case we did with Allison on Coffees and Cases.
Her case?
Yes, the case that she covered.
Oh, and they all kept pointing to those two boys. Yes.
Yes, because it's just like, it's similar. Like, you're right. How did all of these people come to this one person?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you all transpiring together?
Right. And if she's if she's the kingpin and they want to take her down, then that's an easy target. Let's all point at Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I would really love to get some answers. I really would.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Mm-hmm. And it's so like, I was watching the footage of Megan's dad's like home video, and like Michael wore a white tux, and it was like so 2005, and it was like she had this burnt orange dress, and her hair had like the butterfly clips, and like it was just classic 2005 TLC MTV vibes. And then they were so cute.
My prom date wore a white tux as well.
Yeah. He always had some.
He had a white tux. I had a turquoise dress. He had a turquoise tie.
There you go.
Yeah. Those were the times. They were the times.
They were. Yeah.
Wow.
But
well, if you guys know anything, say something.
Yeah.
Say something.
Let us know. And if you don't feel comfortable saying something, you can always DM us if you know anything, and we're happy to relay the message.
Yep. And Brooke put in that phone number and who to contact. So if you need to do it, do a good deed.
Yep. See something, say something. Know something, say something.
Because those families deserve to know what happened to those babies.
They do.
But all right, guys. Well, again, happy New Year. Happy you're still here rocking with Teachers Who Talk Crime. And as always, the bell don't dismiss you.
We do.
So we will see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.